Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Nation pregame show. I'm Josh. This is Jay. Let's test this out. We're on a new.
Are we frozen? How are we doing?
Let's wait for it to show up. Wow, it looks absolutely amazing on Facebook. This is a big breakthrough for us. I think we finally made it back to a spot where we can do the pregame show and it's gonna work. This is a big moment.
Yeah, please let us know if it's
Please
working.
let us know
Like on my
if-
computer, I feel like this is working. This isn't us frozen.
Let's see.
Twitter, I'm not seeing it on live right now, so that's all good. Oh, here we go.
I can hear us on Facebook. This is a big breakthrough for not only the pregame show, but Edmonton as a whole.
Edmonton just became better.
Edmonton just elevated its game. But now that we're over the initial fascination of this actually working, let's get into some Oilers talk, Jay. We're back. Once again, the Oilers taking on the Winnipeg Jets tonight, coming off a 6-5 loss, which was arguably, although the Oilers lost, one of the most exciting games of the season so far.
That was a barn burner.
And I think anytime you can get 5 goals past the reigning Vezina Trophy winner, that's a good sign for the goal scoring aspect of the team. But giving up 6, the goalies, Jay, what did you think of Mike Smith and then Mikko Koskinen's performance?
Well, you know, I don't think it was a goalie issue so much on Monday there. I was going to say Sunday, long weekend, tricked me. I don't think it so much was a goalie issue. Like, sure, you know, we wanted him to make a save or two there, but like we gave them some pretty good chances that were so easily avoidable. Like that game just had the feeling that, like, despite being down, we were going to win. And we kept coming back and we kept and scoring, but then like moments after, another costly mistake and they put it in the net. And that's really where it hurt us. So Mikko came in, did a good job. Tippett had to do that. He had to kind of send a message to the team. It wasn't as like so much Mike Smith's fault. Like, sure, you wanted him to make a save there too, but that was on the people in front of him. But man, that game was so exhilarating. I was like hoping to be in bed by 9:30 p.m. But that game, like we even lost, and I was still buzzing. Like, it was great.
Isn't it wild how after 2 strong starts for Mike Smith in his first 2 games of the season, he has 1 stinker. Koskinen comes in, it's a stinker for him as well. And then what conversation starts again in Edmonton? What's the future in goaltending for the Edmonton Oilers? There's John Gibson.
Get us John Gibson now.
Get us John Gibson. Honestly, we can touch on that a little bit later. I talked about this on State of the Nation the other day. If I was the Oilers, I would be going full court press to get John Gibson. I would be. We don't want to talk about it too much. This is the pregame show,
what are you
not
giving
the
up?
Oilers GM show.
What are you giving up?
Please don't come at me at the comments. I'm giving up Philip Broberg. I'm giving up a first-round pick, and I'm giving up a 3rd, if that means John Gibson.
That's a lot.
He's an elite-level goaltender making 6.5 for the next 7 years. But
how do we fit him? How do we fit him right now, contract-wise?
Koskinen's got to go the other way. Koskinen would have to go the other way as well.
Okay.
Sorry, so that's another thing that would have to go. It'd have to be Broberg, a 1st, and Koskinen, plus probably a 3rd, which is a lot. That's a lot. Don't come at me. I'm just saying, if it was me, I would like to have a true number 1 goalie for Draisaitl and McDavid.
Yeah. Well, like when the window is open right now, so we gotta like plug our holes. Okay, anyways, yes.
Okay, Carson's asking us questions about the Nuge situation. I know there was some contract talks going on today. We'll touch on that a little bit later. First, let's talk about tonight's game ahead. First of all, one big thing we're watching for tonight, Jay, is 1 more point for 97 to get to 500. Darnell Nurse was asked about it this morning in the press conference. He's like, I'm not going to touch on it. I know Connor hasn't touched on it, and he wouldn't be the guy to talk about it, but
never.
We've had so many amazing moments with Connor McDavid up to this point, Jay. I put out a video this morning on my Twitter of 10 times that Connor McDavid just went wide and used his speed to get around defenders and just embarrass them. These are NHL defenders, and he just embarrasses them. Jay, let's get soft for a moment here. Give me...
Speak from the heart
Let's get soft. Darnell got asked this question this morning as well. What's your number 1 Connor McDavid moment up to this point? 1 moment. And I'm talking on the ice. I know he's a very, very charismatic and very, very high personality guy off the ice. So what's your number 1 play by McDavid?
So this is a personal touch, this one. So like, because Connor's done a million different amazing things. The one to me that just, because it meant so much, because we came back, I believe it was to come back in that game against Anaheim in the playoffs, where he starts skating towards our blue line, does the sharp cut on, I think, Lindholm or something, and goes in and snipes.
Yeah.
I was at that game, and just, like, it was just so beautiful to see, and just, like, the emotions, because I was such an important goal in that game. Like, I almost fainted. I'm jumping up and down and yelling at the same time so loud because, you know, that was, like, the significance of that. So for me, like, you asked me the question, like a million things went to my mind.
Yeah,
it was
there's
like
so
it was
many-
like a wheel spinning,
Yeah.
and then it just froze there really quick, being like, "That's the one."
Yeah.
Because that's the one I connected with personally.
So was that the same game as the Desharnais game? Was that the same? Because I had the opportunity, obviously, to work for the Oilers during the playoff run, so I was at every game. I'm trying to
Desharnais
remember.
was against the Sharks.
Was Desharnais against the Sharks?
Desharnais was against the Sharks.
I thought Desharnais was against the Ducks. I'm having it all confused.
Yeah, the Ducks.
That whole playoff run was such a blur because it was just so exciting. And
Yeah.
we've never experienced that. I remember driving down White Ave, sticking out of my sunroof with a flag and stuff. Just
I think
wild.
it was Game 6. I think that happened, and it was a must
let
win.
us know. Let us know
Anyways,
if you know.
we
Yeah,
can talk about that. It's
I'll-
a pregame show.
I'll quickly touch on mine. Mine was the goal against Toronto, against Riley. When I think the best part about it was the celebration when he threw up the one. I'm number one.
I love
I'm the best player.
I love how he stuffed that in the faces of Leafs fans.
And
him being a Leaf fan as a kid, like,
But he's such a humble guy that for him to do that, it was just like, that was a special moment. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, what were you
that's how you know he's our captain. He is the Edmonton Oilers captain because he gave the FU to Leafs fans in their barn. Like, that's a guy who's committed to the crest on his jersey.
100%. Okay, quickly, let's touch on it. Neil Pionk, we kind of saw a little bit of, some physical play.
He was out everywhere.
He was everywhere. He was all over McDavid last game. People are like, oh, Pionk shutting down McDavid. That's garbage. Neil Pionk didn't shut down McDavid. Jay, we're going to get to your lock of the day later on. I know you have faith in McDaddy going into tonight's game. What do you think about that matchup? And if you were the Oilers, would you want to see some of the more physical guys step up and kind of get in the face of Neil Pionk and try to dissolve that situation? Or what's your take on the whole thing?
Yeah, I think I would like to see that. Create more as if Connor McDavid needs more time and space. He makes his own, but to kind of quiet Pionk down a little bit because he felt a little comfortable out there. So yeah, I'd like to see it, but credit to where credit's due. Pionk went out there and did a good job. But yeah, I think if we can quiet him down and put him to sleep a little bit. But I also, Connor being the great player he is, like Tom Brady calling out Matthew in the Super Bowl saying, "I'm coming at you." I expect Connor McDavid to be coming at Pionk tonight.
Leon is letting us know it was Game 5 against the Sharks. The Desharnais goal.
The Desharnais goal.
Desharnais goal. So you were right. It was against the Sharks. Different game than obviously the McDavid cutback goal.
Desharnais also almost made me faint.
Desharnais, what a beauty. He'll go down in Edmonton history for that goal.
Very memorable Oiler.
Very memorable Oiler. I think,
he'll be invited back when Rogers Place gets torn down for the next rink. He'll be there for the once in a while Oilers and Oilers Center.
Did Desharnais wear 13? Did he wear 13? I think he did.
Oh, he might have. I don't remember. He's that memorable.
It might be a homage by Jesse Puljujärvi to wear 13.
He's channeling his inner Desharnais.
His favorite former Oiler, David Desharnais.
Quite possible.
Okay, let's get into the lineups for tonight. Obviously, we heard Mike Smith is getting the crease. I agree with it. I would have went back to Smith. Jay, do you agree?
Yeah, Smith's mad.
Yeah.
He wants redemption, and I think you got to channel that. And I think I think there's some stats there to support Mike Smith is a good bounce back goalie.
Very good.
I think give him a shot. And he'll shut down the Jets tonight.
Colin Rain in the comments is saying Cassian would have taken care of Neil Pionk.
Well, would he? I don't know.
But what we've seen kind of
he should, and he would have.
We would hope. We would hope.
This season, I don't know.
Cassian, this season?
I would love to see that. So, we've got Darnell Nurse.
Yep.
We got our boy who is just coming back, and he still didn't score.
The hammer.
Didn't score last game or getting points, but still was making an impact.
This close. He was this close.
So close.
That one that was on the goal line, he was stabbing at it. He was there.
But still played good. So
very good.
Yeah, the hammer. Jujar is he can also put Pionk to sleep.
Let us know in the comments on Facebook or Twitter if you want hammer merch. Jay, are you?
Hammer merch.
I tweeted at you a couple of games ago, and I said, "When are we getting the hammer merch?" Would you buy it? I would. I would buy Jujar.
I want to get a blow up hammer that we have for the hammer. The hammer.
The hammer. Every time Kara has a good game, or every time he scores, I'm gonna tweet out a picture of the hammer.
Of course, social media gets flooded with hammers anytime Jujar does something great.
Every time.
Journeyman carpenter, great guy.
If Jujar scores tonight, I want everyone tweeting out the emoji hammer and tagging Oilers Nation at Oilers Nation with the hammer emoji if Jujar scores tonight. Okay, another thing as well, we've heard some speculation that Dominic Cahoon might be coming off of that second line. They're thinking about slotting Tyler Ennis up there with Draisaitl and Yamamoto. And see, this is a tough situation for me because I feel like, I hope I get this saying right. Tyler used this the other day on State of the Nation. I feel like this is kind of you're stealing from Peter to pay Paul. I think that's the saying.
Yeah.
He said Low Tide used it. But,
of course. It's a very old man saying.
Yeah, it feels like it. But that seems like the situation because you're taken away from that third line, which has been dynamite. Arguably the best line for the Oilers.
I know, it's tough. Ennis has been playing good. He's been feisty. He's been engaged. I've actually been pretty impressed with his play. Obviously, that whole line has been great. Mm-hmm. It's risky, but I think, it's a wake-up call for Cahoon because Cahoon is, not the sole reason we lost that game, but like at a very pivotal point made a poor decision, and that resulted in the back of the net. And so that might be some kind of, some coaching that we're witnessing. But I'm not offended by it. But yeah, that third line's buzzing. They're buzzing.
It just might be time for a good reset for Cahoon. He had a slow start to the season. He had a couple of games there, had 2 goals in 2 games. He was looking to be trending in the right direction. And it's just been a tough little stretch for him here. But that line hasn't necessarily been amazing either. We've seen Yamamoto have his struggles. He scored last game, sure, but from my standpoint, it seems like Yamamoto's been out of it a little bit as well, maybe even Draisaitl. So maybe just a fresh face, just a reset for that line. If I had to predict it, I would say Cahoon he'll eventually make his way back onto that second line.
This game.
Probably this game.
Maybe it's just we don't even know if it's happening for sure. We've heard some rumblings.
Strictly speculating.
Right now in the GDB, it's still as Cahoon on the second line, but we'll see.
Dwayne Neufeld on Facebook is saying, I haven't seen enough from Cassian this year to kind of.
Well, he's hurt right now.
Well, no, we're talking about back in the Neil Pionk thing.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just being a smartass.
Okay. Anyways, let's move on.
We haven't seen enough about Cassian what?
No, for the Pionk thing. That's what I'm saying. Like we haven't seen enough. We haven't seen enough from Cassian this season if he was playing. To be like, he would answer the bell for the Pionk thing.
100%. But he should.
He had one fight before he got hurt, and then he got in a fight and he got hurt.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him, kind of.
That's just, of course, that's the way it happens, right? Like,
it totally felt like he had to fight though.
Because Jujar fought. That's the thing. We went into Ottawa, we set the tone, and guess what? We won the game.
Yeah, Dwayne. I mean, physically, I understand you, Dwayne. Jay's on something. Okay, Bouchard. Let's talk about old man Bouchard.
Dad.
Wow, 8 shots on goal last game.
How is that even? Is that an NHL record for a defenseman?
I think I saw something that said he attempted 11 shots and got 8 on goal. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's like, whoa.
So like the math at some point is going to catch up. Like that's going to be a goal here right away if he keeps shooting like this. So I'm
not a math guy, but I'm pretty sure that means goal tonight.
I took stats at Nate. And I know, that, because of that learnings that I had, all the stats that I absorbed and formulas and whatnot.
You took stats at Nate, hey?
Oh, it was like one of the compulsory classes of business.
It's a Nate alumni show.
Nate alumni. I'm an alumnate. You're an alumnate.
Alumni.
Yeah. Nest for life.
Did you say alumnate?
Yeah, that's what they used to call it.
I've never heard of that.
I'm dating myself. I am Paul paying George.
What's that restaurant at
The Nest?
The Nest.
Yes.
You spend a lot of time at the Nest?
I miss the odd first morning class to enjoy a very delicious and affordable breakfast.
Bouchard. I think we're going to
Bouchard scoring tonight.
But
that's not my lock.
Tyler Yaremchuk in his pregame podcast, what was his lock? His lock, we're not going to steal it.
Yeah.
Tyler's lock was over 2.5 shots for Bouchard.
God.
Is it 1.5 or 2.5?
Over 2.5 shots playing plus 105.
Plus 105.
We have crazy recency bias, so we think this is the deal of the century. So of course I'm going to hit it.
100 units on that.
Don't
units. Actually do that, but maybe.
Something.
Maybe. Okay, throw your questions at us, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter. We're not really monitoring YouTube or Twitch, so if you're on there, thank you, but probably not going to answer your question. Some people in the chat are questioning the whole Nuge situation right now. I know that it's been kind of a point of discussion today.
So here's the reality. They haven't talked really since before the start of the season. Like, once the season started, things stopped.
Yeah.
So that it's just been radio silence. It's not like both sides the negotiations have gone sour. It's just they've stopped talking because the season's started. So I would like to. So I don't think there's any like negativity around that. Nuge has been pretty clear about wanting to stay an Oiler and hashtag keep Nuge forever. I really believe that, and I think the Nuge does too. But I guess with the trade deadline kind of looming, I guess as an Oilers fan you kind of probably want him locked up and have that certainty. But there's some negotiation happening because obviously there's some separation on price.
Yeah.
And with the flat cap, especially for 2 more seasons, probably every dollar saved is so important.
And another thing as well, I think that if you're an Oilers fan and you're wanting Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to get re-signed this season, they're not going to re-up him this season. They're going to wait till after the expansion draft, I would imagine. I'm sure.
That's the game within the game, but you risk yourself, right?
But that's the thing as well. So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's entering unrestricted free agency. He's essentially an NFL player. He can go wherever he wants in this situation. So if the Oilers, technically he'll enter free agency, and obviously the Oilers will have his rights, but
no, he won't. He's a UFA.
Well, no. I mean, like the Oilers, they wouldn't even be able to protect him, really.
Well, but he also can't be taken because he's a UFA.
Yeah. So then what?
So he's
that's
in
like
limbo.
That's like a.
We get to protect. Hey. Yeah. That's Nuge being a team player.
Yeah.
And that's worth something.
Is he going to use that as leverage in contract?
Well, you never know. All these little
He's
things.
Like, you re-sign me now.
All these things little cost. To have a team take salary back, that costs crazy high picks and stuff. Yeah. So there might be some gain. I'm
going to say it's 6.5. That's my. Let us know. What do you think? I'm 6'5".
Well, if we get 6'5", I'm happy. I'm happy as shit.
Gregor thinks he should be 6. He 6. Back to what he was.
Yeah. See, Gregor's not biased like we are.
Yeah, we got too much Oilers to talk about for right now. Let's worry about contracts later. We have a troll in the comments saying Jets are going to win 5-2. Go Flames, go. You're not welcome here.
Jeez, why don't you cheer for every other team?
Yeah.
Every other team. You're cheering for the Jets and the Flames.
He's got the Canucks on the money line tonight as well.
Yeah, are you a real fan of any team? Like, if you're going to come at us, at least just stick with one and really come at us.
Once again, if you have any questions, comments, let us know. Carson says, hashtag keep Nuge forever.
Carson gets it.
Okay, Carson, would you trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for John Gibson right now?
There's another trade to be had.
You're wearing the Oilers blinders right now.
Because you need Nuge on the run. You need him.
Oh no, you need John Gibson on the run.
But you want both.
Yeah, you want both.
That's what I'm saying. So leverage the future for the present. You keep Nuge forever. You leverage future Nuge that we're not going to draft.
Okay.
And get John Gibson between the pipes, and then we've got like 3 to 4 years of just raw, because we got a bunch of cap space also, or a bunch of cap space.
We're gonna have a ton of cap space next season.
So we're gonna be like, we can't be silly. We can't be like Pistol Pete and just signing people for crazy contracts.
We also have to. We keep forgetting this, and we haven't really brought this into the discussion yet. Is that we have to remember that money that's going to Taylor Hall in the offseason when the Oilers re-sign Halsey.
Guy can't even score on.
Halsey's coming to Edmonton, baby.
Geez.
Come back to Edmonton, Halsey.
Hall is just continuing to prove why he shouldn't be an Oiler.
Oh, but if he was on McDavid's wing, he'd put up 40. Bet you Ryan Nugent-Hopkins ain't putting up 40 this year.
No.
It's also a 56-game season. But
yeah, no, we don't want.
Who would you rather have, Nuge or Hall?
Nuge. Nuge is a responsible hockey player. Taylor Hall is selfish, cheats, flies the zone. Does not care.
Let us know. Nuge or Hall in the comments. Who'd you
Low danger. Nuge is a danger. He will strip the puck from you just as quick as he can. Jesus. I was trying to say 9 things at once there.
Well, don't say one thing about Taylor Hall and then all of a sudden.
Well, but then you're trying to put him in the same conversation as the Nuge.
You're right, because
that's what gets me hot.
Like this, Taylor Hall.
Oh, no, it goes Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall can't perform in Buffalo with Jeff Skinner. That's not even what I wanted to say. Jack Eichel.
Jeff Skinner's terrible.
But Jack Eichel is not.
Yeah, you know who we should sign? Jeff Skinner's agent. Now that's a guy that can perform.
We hope the Nuge doesn't have Jack Skinner's agent.
If the Nuge if the Nuge has Jeff Skinner's agent, Nuge might get 12 here. He might get 12. Well, we'll see.
Fire agent Nuge.
People in the comments could not disagree with me more. Everyone is on your team. Nuge. Richard says Nuge without a doubt.
Thank you.
says Nuge over Hall. Keep Nuge forever. Clint says Hall is a
what has Hall done? Hall has been he went to the Devils and had an MVP season and has been horrific ever since.
James agrees with me. Let's see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' Hart Trophy.
Oh,
Let's see Nugent.
okay. So we got a Hart Trophy. Got swept in the first round of the playoffs. And what has he ever done?
Imagine if we had 3 Hart Trophy winners.
And don't bring up his junior career. Because
Nuge.
a guy the way Taylor Hall plays, the way he plays, can work and translate well in junior, but it doesn't translate well in the NHL.
Dwayne says, exactly, Hall ain't coming back. He has no business here anymore. Nuge is way better than Hall. Listen, the last thing I want people to think is that I hate Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Well, it's coming off pretty strong.
I love Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He's my favorite Oiler after Draisaitl. Just kidding. He's like my 4th favorite Oiler. But here's another question for you. I was thinking about this morning. Who's the 3rd best Oiler? Let us know in the comments who you think. Who's the 3rd best Oiler? And I mean overall. Like, I'm not talking favorite. I'm just talking straight up as an NHL player. Who's the 3rd best player on the Oilers?
As an NHL player?
As an NHL player. Who's the 3rd best player?
Well, how couldn't it be Nuge? Or are you saying it should be like Nurse?
I think it would have to be either Nurse or Nuge.
Yeah.
Or a healthy Clefbaum, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, if Clefbaum's on the right, yeah, you got to put a D in the top 3. But yeah,
I was thinking about this morning. Like, other than the top 2, because obviously Draisaitl and McDavid are on another level. But after that, who's the best player on the Oilers? We don't have anyone other than those 2 that have scored 30 goals in a season. You know, Nuge just capped out at 28, the best of his career.
Yeah.
And
respectable.
It's respectable. Most teams have 3 30-goal scorers.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. But
just making shit up.
I think it's Darnell Nurse right now. Like, I think that's the direction he's trending. Who do you guys think? Who's the 3rd best Oiler? Carson says 1 McDavid, 2 Dry. Dwayne says Nurse. James says Barry. And I thought about Barry as well, but I don't want to say Barry's on the back 9. But
yeah, I wouldn't put him in the top 3. I'd maybe put him in the top 5. Like, he's starting to really heat up.
Yeah.
We still I don't know if he's the greatest defenseman, but he's definitely is a huge asset on the power play now. Now they figured out the right shot. That was the whole issue for the first 9 games. Yeah. They weren't used to the right shot. Everyone just was so out of sorts.
It looked terrible.
But now they kind of got it figured out, and I keep betting Barry Point, and it's been paying off very nicely.
People are saying Yamamoto 3rd best Oiler.
He's not there yet, but he's got promise because. Yamo's not, I guess, well, this doesn't defend the Nuge because he had some dark spots this season. Has just kind of come back out of it. And Yamamoto's kind of in a little bit of a funk right now.
The big-time trend right now is Nuge. Everyone thinks Nuge is the 3rd best Oiler. You know, Braden says Nuge. Wes Ashley, 3rd best is Nuge. Carson says Yamamoto in his prime will be good. Kyle says Evan Bouchard, he called him Dad, will be the 3rd best Oiler by the end of the season. Do you see it heading there?
So my always biggest knock about Bouchard was his mobility, but he's clearly changed that. And
yeah, if we want to talk about haters.
Well, it wasn't haters. I was willing to trade him at one point, but now that he's come a long way since then. He moves well. His patience.
Yes.
Oh.
That
guy is stone cold out there. Like that guy will outweight anyone. Like, he's the last one at the table. What is that called? What's the cowboy poker? We all sit around the table. I've been watching Yellowstone a lot lately, so I've got Cowboys in the mind.
I've heard lots about that.
Yeah, great show. So I got Cowboys in the mind. I think it's called Cowboy Poker. He's the last. He doesn't get off the table, and he still misses the bowl. Anyways, so it's a matter of time. Bouchard is showing that he's got game, and that is very exciting. So plus 500 for Bouchard to score tonight.
Okay, we're gonna get to your lock in just a second here. I want to address one question on Facebook. Shelly Hall says, any news as to why the team walked off before practice was over? What happened between McDavid and Tippett?
Oh, yeah.
That was just, Tippett literally just went up.
Load management. Like, get off the ice, boys. You got to rest up for the game. There was there's no friction there.
Kawhi Leonard situation. Tippett literally went up to McDavid, Nuge, or was it Dry? I think it was McDavid, Dry, and Nurse.
It was like Top Gun.
They were about to do a battle drill, and Tippett was like, no, get off the ice. Like, we need to conserve the energy.
That's good coaching right there.
Good coaching. Justin says Nurse, Yamo, Pool Party, and Boosh all have higher value than Nurse. Wait, he said Nurse has higher value than Nurse. I think he means Yamamoto and Pool Party and Bouchard have higher value than Nurse. At the end of the season here, Jay, who's going to be more valuable to the Oilers heading into the next season? Evan Bouchard or Darnell Nurse?
So, Bouchard's not going to be an elite defender ever. Like, in terms of defense.
Okay.
Right?
You could say the same thing about Darnell Nurse.
But Darnell Nurse, at least, right now, he is our elite defender.
Which is kind of scary.
Which is kind of scary. So like, in terms of like the defense aspect of playing defense,
Yeah.
you know, I would put Nurse above that, above Bush.
Okay.
On that, because you need your stalwarts to. And I'm not saying like Darnell Nurse is like a number one elite NHL shutdown defender, but he's taken a big step this year.
Yep.
He's a lot better defensively than he is last year, and he's scoring at a crazy clip. He's kind of providing. He's kind of a danger on both sides. So you just can't have Nurse walk without having some kind of other defensive stallion stepping in.
Oh no, I think that obviously Nurse and Bouchard are going to be two of the top defensemen on this Oilers team next season. I think the biggest thing and the biggest positive note is that I would say probably Caleb Jones, Adam Larson is probably not going to be on this team next year. And that's a good thing because that means you're going to have other pieces coming back in return. Obviously, who knows what's going to happen with the expansion draft? That's this offseason, correct? Mm-hmm. Who knows what's going to happen there? Barry, we imagine, probably not going to get re-signed. So this back end's going to look very, very interesting next season.
You don't know that, though.
I would love it if they re-signed Barry.
You don't know that. Like, he took a big discount based on what he was offered. But, like, being the quarterback of the Oilers power play is a lot of fun for a guy like Tyson Barrie. Yeah. So there could be something where, you know, he's from BC, I think.
Yeah.
So he doesn't, so he's not trying to, like, there's probably a fair deal to be there. Maybe that's me wishful thinking.
I'm going to defend Jay for a second here. Clint Cassian is saying on Facebook, Nurse the elite, LOL, no way. I think what Jay is saying by elite defenseman is that in regards to
on the Oilers' current roster, he is our elite defender.
Yeah, and we had a lot of the time hoped that Adam Larson would be that.
I really wanted
struggled a little bit this season. Yep. And Adam Larson, that's one part of his game. Adam Larson, unlike Nurse, Barrie, Bouchard, he's never going to bring a really strong offensive element to his game. So that's what you need Adam Larson to be, is the elite shutdown defender in your own end. And that, no, but I digress. Okay, let's move on to JD. I see it says JD. It's kind of like Jay-Z. JD.
JZ.
That's
Canadian.
You. Okay. That's your lock of the game. Jay, betting wise, let's get into it. You got a lock for tonight's game or what?
Lock's aggressive, but this is what I'm on. Connor McDavid is set potentially to tie Sidney Crosby for amount of games to get to 500 points.
Future Colorado Avalanche, Sidney Crosby.
I bet you that drives Connor McDavid crazy that he didn't beat Crosby.
And I can't believe.
I bet you he wish he did it I bet he wish he did 100 games sooner than Sidney Crosby. But I bet you he wish he had it done 1 game sooner. So I just expect him to have a giant game. I think because it's record night. I think he's pissed off at Pionk, and boy did he almost score there to tie the game at the end. That was so sexy. If that went in, that would be almost goal of the year.
I can't even remember what goal.
Where he was on the half wall and he broke free from the defender with all of a sudden the turbo button kicked in and he's all of a sudden in front of Hellebuck and in point blank in tight, and normally he gets it under the bar, and I think it caught Hellebuck's shoulder. It was so close, and that was a tie of the game. That would have been just straight fire. So I think he's pissed. I think he's pissed, and it's a record-setting night for him. So he's extra on. He's pissed that he didn't get it done the night before.
Yep.
So I think he's gonna be shot out of a cannon. So I'm going Connor McDavid over 2.5 points. So be advised on that because that's a big ask, but it's paying plus 450, and that's juicy. That is juicy. So that's not a lock. That's just what I'm on. I'm trying to set the stage as to why I'm doing it. But if you want to put it into lock territory, probably go Connor over 1.5.
Jay's lock. He absolutely is locking it in over 2.5 points for McDavid. Before we wrap it up, I see that Carson has let us know in the comments he thinks it's going to be a 4-3 OT Oilers win. McDavid finishes with 2 points. Let us know what you think the final score for tonight's game is. And before we get to some of the fans and citizens, what they think their final score is going to be, Jay, what is your final score for tonight?
I actually bet the final score today.
Did you? Like an exact final score?
I did an exact final score. I think I'm going to do that all the time and just,
We did that once. You remember that? When we put $2 on it.
Throw $2.
And we said we'd split it if we won.
Yeah.
I bet
and you won and didn't tell me.
No, I didn't win. I bet the Oilers would win 6-2 and they lost 3-1.
I've got Oilers to win 5-3.
Okay. So you think they're going to put another 5
spot? Well, yeah, I think so because not Nuge. Well, Nuge might get 3 points, but I'm betting on Connor getting 3 points. So there's got to be at least 3 goals.
Okay.
So and then I think I think the third line is going to score. If Ennis is still there, they're still buzzing. They're probably going to score.
Yep.
And I think Bush is going to score. He's not on the power play yet, so he's going to have to score in 5-on-5. So that is 1, 2, 3. That's 5 goals because I'm assuming Connor's getting 3 points in the power play.
Clinton Cassian has 4-2 Oilers. Jenna Delver has 3-1 Oilers. I'm going to go 3-1 Oilers as well. I'm going to copy Jenna. I think it's going to be a big bounce-back performance for Mike Smith. And I'm going to have my 3 goals coming from McDavid 5-on-5, Draisaitl on the power play, assisted by McDavid. And then I want to have 3 points for you. Actually, I'm going to change it. 4-1 Oilers because I'm going to throw in, I think Jujhar Khaira is going to get a goal tonight.
I
think the Hammer's getting a goal.
I hope so.
And then my 4th goal is going to be Tyson Barrie on the power play as well, assisted by McDavid to get you to 3 points for McDavid.
Thank you.
4-1 Oilers. Jay, final thoughts before we wrap up this live. We went long, but we're just so excited. Facebook has been buzzing.
We could have had 8 goals last game. We had so many. We had so many shots and so many good opportunities. So just keep doing that and just stop the gaffes. Stop the gaffes. That Connor goal, so avoidable. The one that Kuhn gave up at the blue line, those aren't we don't have to fundamentally change to stop that from happening. So keep shelling Hellebuck.
Yep.
He's holy if we smash him with pucks, and let's play for our boy Mike Smith, and Mike Smith will play for us because he's pissed.
Wes, 4-1 Oilers, 3 points for the best player in the league. I assume he's talking about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Ken Jackson, 5-2 Oilers. James Mitchell, 3-2 Oilers. 5 shots for Evan Bouchard. Colin saying 2-0 Oilers. Justin Hamilton, 4-1 Oilers. Carson sending the hammer emoji. Thank you, Carson. And then Jenna is going to say Smith bounce back, McDavid, Nuge, and Jujhar Khaira with a goal tonight.
Love it.
That's going to do it for another edition of the Nation pregame show presented by Nation Beer. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. We love it when you comment and interact with us because that's what makes it fun for Jay and I. So enjoy tonight's game. Be advised when you're placing your bets. Our bets for tonight, over 2.5 shots for Bouchard, over 2.5 points for McDavid, and then of course an Oilers win. That's going to do it. We'll see you again on Friday. Friday's the next Oilers game? I'm asking you when the next Oilers
I thought Sunday was Monday. Don't ask me dates right now, man. I'm
pretty
another
sure
planet.
They play Friday.
Yeah, they probably do.
Against Calgary.
Yeah, they probably do.
We'll see you Friday, the second edition, and hopefully a win for the Oilers in, once again, the Battle of Alberta.